Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be going over how to solve arithmetic sequences. So the problem we will be dealing with today is which term of the sequence 3, 13 over 4, 14 over 4, etc. is 5. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is just get this standardized equation out of the way. So we have a sub n is equal to a plus d times n minus 1. So when looking at this equation, we know that a of n can be our so-called value that we're trying to achieve. So in this case, it's going to be 5. So we're going to do a of n is equal to 5. And we know that a is considered our first term. So when looking at this sequence, our first term is going to be 3. Next, we know that d can be considered our common difference. And what I mean by that is when looking at the values given in our sequence right here, we can see what value we have to add or subtract to get from one term to the other. So when we're looking at 3 and 13 over 4, for example, we can see that you add 1/4 to get from 3 to 13 over 4. And how I got that was by turning 3 into a fraction over 4 to make it easier. So we know that 3 is really equal, and it's the same thing essentially as 12 over 4. And if we compare 12 over 4 and 13 over 4, to get from 12 over 4 to 13 over 4, you simply just add 1/4. And so that is how we know that d, or our common difference, is 1/4. Lastly, our n is going to be a question mark. And n is the term of the sequence. So in this question, it's asking which term of the sequence. So we know that n is going to be our question mark. So now that we know that, we can go ahead and plug in all these values that we've listed on the left into the equation that we've written on the top. So we know that it is 5 is equal to a, which is our 3, plus 1/4 times n minus 1. Oops, sorry, that's a subtraction sign. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is subtract 3 from each side. So we're going to get 2. And we're also going to go ahead and distribute the 1/4 to both n and negative 1. So we're going to get 1/4 n minus 1 over 4. So the next thing we're going to do is add 1/4 to each side. And again, what we're going to do is turn 2 into a fraction over 4 so that it's easier to add 1/4. So we know that 2 is the same thing as 8 over 4. So if we have 8 over 4, and we're adding 1/4 to that, that's going to go ahead and give us 9 over 4. So now what we're left with is 9 over 4 is equal to 1/4 n. So in order to get n by itself, what we're going to go ahead and do is multiply both sides of the equation by 4. And I got 4 because that is the reciprocal of 1 over 4. So if we multiply each side of the equation by 4, that'll cancel out the 1/4 that's next to the n, like so. However, we have to know that 4 is the same thing as having it as 4 over 1. So if we have 4 over 1 times 9 over 4, we know that these 4's cancel out. So that we are finally left with n is equal to 9. And what that means is that 5 in this sequence right here is the 9th term.